Hey everybody, I'm really excited for this video. Basically, we're going to be putting a whole LLM service on a Raspberry Pi, and I'll show you that right now. This is one of the new Pi 5s. It's on, I've set it up, but basically, if you aren't sure how to set up a Pi, you can go to my previous video, which is putting an alpaca model on a Raspberry Pi, and I'll show you how to use PyImager to get all of that set up. It's slightly different because you no longer have to press, I think it was Control X in order to look at the options and everything, but now it's just part of the process. All you got to do is make sure that you set up Wi-Fi or have an Ethernet cable, and you set up SSH access, and then you can get in just like this. So we're gonna just run a command terminal and SSH pi at /7. If you have trouble finding your Pi on your local network, there's another guide that I've made for that too. Basically, ipconfig can really help you, especially if you've configured the host name to be something useful. Like for me, I changed the host name of my Pi to be LLM Pi so that when I actually scan IP addresses and then scan for the actual names, the hosts on my network, this one immediately comes up and I can match the IP address and log right in. Anyway, so this is giving you a little snapshot of what we're going to be doing here. This is this repo, Llama CPP. There's nothing wrong with using something else like Llama or Cobalt CPP or whatever else you want to use. I'm just going to use the vanilla Llama CPP one because it's here, and you just clone it. As soon as you have your Pi, I'd strongly recommend you run like the app update and upgrade and everything. And the only thing that you'll need to install for this is the sudo apt-get install get all, and run this command, and you'll be able to get git, and then you'll run the git clone for this repo, llama.cpp, whatever. And then once you have that, you'll cd into it. And you don't start with all of these things. If you're on Linux running Raspbian like I am, or Ubuntu, you can just, or if you're on a Mac, you can just hit make, right? Like this is the command. If you've downloaded the W64 dev kit on Windows, you can also make with make. Otherwise, you can use CMake. There's a lot of different ways to build for this, but all that we're gonna really need is server and Quantize. These are like our two, and again, this is not utilizing this to the strongest extent or to the fullest extent. This is literally just like run the server, do no training, do no conversion. I'll teach you how to do the conversion if you want, actually. Once we're here, if we ls our models, we have, this is what I'm going to use. This is, in my opinion, the best 7B model on the market right now. The Capybara Hermes Mistral. They use whatever to your choice, like whatever you'd like. The big key here though is just that it's in GGUF format. So let's go through really quick how to get a model into GGUF format. So Hugging Face, we're gonna look up Llama 2. If you want this on your Pi, there are two things you need. First, you need to set up an SSH key. Like literally just generate it, and like you saw before when I LS'd, this is my generation. You need to copy this, whatever pub file comes with it, and copy that into your Hugging Face account in your settings, in your keys. So this is an account that you should know if you're wanting to get into this stuff, the bloke. I guess it's as simple as that, as long as it's not a protected repository. Let's do this one actually. We'll do this. Thanks to the magic of editing, this will be super fast. And you'll see this is broken up into 2 different safe tensors files, and we'll need both of them. Okay, so once we have everything downloaded and installed, which we can check with ls models llama, we have 1 and 2 of the safe tensors. We're going to run the conversion. So Python 3 convert .py models llama 2, and we're going to do ctx 4096. Oh, it looks like the vocab wasn't found, so we're going to need to download that too. We need the tokenizer. We're going to just grab the whole thing. So special tokens map. Beep. And we're going to get the tokenizer.json, and we're going to get the tokenizer model, and we're going to get the tokenizer config.json. Then we're going to run that same thing. And what's going to come out of this is a GGUF FP16 version of the model, which you got to be careful with the actual context length. I checked this beforehand to make sure that it was 4096, because if you input the wrong context length during this conversion, it's going to change the dimensions of everything, and you'll get really bad results on anything that you try to do. And remember, all of this is running on a Raspberry Pi, so if you have something like a MacBook or a bigger computer of any sort, like, it's just going to go faster. This is just running on a Pi 5. All right, so now we have a GGUF model, and we're going to quantize that down even further just to show you how you can do it, because this model, if the previous one was about 12-ish gigabytes, it's still going to be about 12 gigabytes, and we only have 8 gigabytes of RAM on this, and so we're gunning for more like 6 or 7 gigabytes to run. So we'll do Quantize models llama ggml, and we are going to quantize it down to we'll go down to Q4 because that's the example, but there are a lot of different ones that you should look at. You can do this with pretty much any model on Hugging Face if it's not already on in the GGUF format. This has been expanded a lot since it was created, so you can do it with Mistral models, you can do it with Mixtral models, you can do it even with some of the like weirder formats like DESI. You can do it on the DESI coder. All right, so now that I've shown you how you can import and quantize a model, let's see how we can run it. So /server, and keep in mind this server is compatible with the OpenAI class on langchain. So if you want to run this server locally on-prem for your company or whatever, and then call it as needed using the exact same API as an OpenAI server would, you can use that. But we need to pass the model in, which is going to be models, and then just capybara. So this is the model that I picked for this. You can pick whatever you want. And then host, and we're gonna I'm gonna give it the actual IP address on my network. What that does is it gives us a server that we can now access. 86.27 and it's default port 8080, but you can change that. And here, so we'll say, how old was Justin Bieber the last time the Patriots won the Super Bowl? And I'm gonna show you just for this as well. We're gonna pull it up on my phone too, because it's just an API with a cute little like minimal GUI. You can run something like Kobold, or you can run something else. Like there's a Tavern one that's pretty popular as well. You can run a front end that uses this server as the back end. You just have to point it to this server in the port. Here it is running on my phone too, Llama CPP. I'm going to ask something similar, and I'm not going to speed up the response so you can see exactly how fast this runs on the Raspberry Pi. I'm going to ask it on here, what are some cool and unique baby names for boys? Use Celtic and Norse influence. So I'm going to send it on my phone, and I'm going to send it on here at the same time. Keep in mind, again, this is a Raspberry Pi running multiple requests on the server, and this is exactly how fast it goes. So it's already generating on my phone. Here's a list. So you can see it's probably about 1.5 seconds per token on my phone. And it hasn't started on the computer yet. It's going to get through, I think, at least most of this first before it generates for the computer. But like you can see, it's going like a decent speed considering there's no GPU. We're not using cuBLAS or OpenBLAS or Metal. This is not like, it's not accelerated at all. It is minimal single board Raspberry Pi 5. This would work if you could guarantee, like I've tested this myself. It can go at about 5 or 6 tokens per second if you only have one request going at a time. And as you can see here as well, if you happen to have a multimodal model or one that can handle images, you can upload images as well. This works for multimodal stuff. And obviously a Raspberry Pi is not it's not a good idea for a server for production. I'm just showing you how small can you actually get this, so that when you're considering, hey, we bought a couple A100s and we have a server here, like you can immediately know that, hey, this can handle up to like 128 clients going at about 20-ish tokens per second, just by sheer memory and hardware acceleration. It becomes a teensy bit harder to install with that, but it's literally just add in that, hey, we're doing CL Blast or cuBLAS or freaking Vulkan you can use. That's it though. You just make with cuBLAS 1 or CMake with cuBLAS on, and that's it. Or if you're building with Metal, it's enabled by default. You don't even have to do it. It'll just detect that you're on a Mac. Sick. Oh, and it's going in here already. Justin Bieber isn't directly related to the New England Patriots winning the Super Bowl. It's gonna give it to us. It's just a little bit confused because I'm giving it a spurious corollary. And it finished on here. It said Eriker, it means single ruler, a Norse name, or 1 liter, and Gunner, another Norse name. Strong. But yeah, this is how it works. It's super easy to set up. This is the base of it. And you can set up to be way better, way more comprehensive, and obviously way faster. You don't need to go this slowly. You don't need to use a Raspberry Pi. If you'd like to see getting into some of those deeper things, I'm writing about it in my book right now. It'll be chapter 11 that I'm co-authoring with Matthew Sharp. That's LLMs in production, which it's just this very first one when you Google it, the Manning site. This is us. Again, chapter 11 is where the Pi project will be, the Pi server, and how to get it to go faster on a Raspberry Pi, how to do some pretty cool hot swapping for tokenizing and everything. And yeah, shout out to Mariah Peterson for asking questions, and this video's for her. So see you guys later.